What's up, y'all? We're here to talk about the winners and losers of the week that was in college football. First, our biggest winner of the week has to be the Miami Hurricanes. They went up to Tallahassee in a historic rivalry game against the Noles and absolutely manhandled Florida State. That score is not as close as that game actually was. Florida State put up some points late. Miami dominated them. Miami's now won the unofficial state cup, taking down the Noles, taking down the Gators, and taking down the Bulls from South Florida. They currently run the state of Florida. They have a good argument, a real argument, to be ranked number one over Ohio State. They have a weak schedule the rest of the way. They should go undefeated. They have to be our biggest winner of the week. Second biggest winner of the week, a little bit more under the radar. We're going out to the Big 12 and the Cincinnati Bearcats. A huge home victory against Iowa State, the second highest ranked team in the Big 12 going into the week. Big win for the Bearcats, who have put together a nice little winning streak since game one against Nebraska that they lost. Nebraska was able to take them down in a pseudo home game. Maybe Cincinnati should be looking at the mirror and saying we should have kept the home game in Indianapolis instead of moving it to Arrowhead, making it more of a home game for Nebraska. Oh well, can't change that. Still a huge win for Cincinnati, a huge win for the Big 12. They should be ranked. They're right outside the rankings right now. Cincinnati's positioned themselves to be a contender in the conference. They avoid Texas Tech the rest of the year, and BYU comes to Cincinnati, the other highest ranked team. Great week for the Bearcats. Next up is Notre Dame. It's crazy to say it. Notre Dame is a huge winner. They have 2 losses on the year already. Those are to Miami and to Texas A&M by a combined 4 points. As those teams keep winning and keep soaring up the rankings, those losses do not look bad. Notre Dame just manhandled Boise State, a contender from the start of the season, and didn't really put up much of a fight against Notre Dame. They also just manhandled Arkansas. Unfortunately, this Notre Dame team has a pretty weak schedule the rest of the way, too. Their next toughest opponents are Navy and USC. This Notre Dame team probably is going to run the table and make it into the playoff. Again, they're ranked 16th right now. As some of these other power teams continue to rack up losses, it's just going to look better and better for Notre Dame the rest of the year. Next up, we're going to go to our losers of the week. Number one loser really can't be questioned. It has to be Penn State. Penn State, James Franklin, what are you doing? This is the classic James Franklin experience. They look great, had all the hype in the world. Yeah, they lost to Oregon last week. Oregon is an elite team. That's not the end of the world. Your season's not dead if you drop a game to Oregon in conference. However, going on the road against a hapless, to put it nicely, UCLA team and just getting walked like that, you can't let that happen. Again, Penn State made it a little bit tight at the end, but UCLA was really in control the entire time. Penn State, that was embarrassing. This is one of the biggest upsets we've seen in a very long time. This UCLA team truly could have gone the rest of the season without a single win. I know you get the bump from firing your coach and bringing in somebody new. You can't lose that game. James Franklin, Penn State, y'all are losers. Next biggest loser of the week is Maryland. Maryland was on a sneaky hot start to the season. Undefeated, didn't have the toughest schedule so far, went on the road to Camp Randall, knocked off Wisconsin, and then had Washington come out to Maryland for a great conference game traveling across the country this past week. Maryland put up a 20-0 start to the game against a depleted Washington team and then managed to blow it, losing 24-20. That's just not a game you can afford to lose. Could have had all the momentum in the world, continued to be undefeated as a sneaky, under-the-radar team out in the Big Ten. However, they blew it late. And then our final loser from the week, it's got to be Texas, another top 5 preseason team that just picked up their second loss of the year. They've lost to both the Power 5 teams that they've played so far this year. We knew that Arch in the offense was struggling, but the defense is what's really been holding it together for him. However, this defense had nothing to stop DJ Lagway and a Florida team that has been underwhelming at best to start the year. Texas is paying a lot of money in NIL to this roster and is not getting it done. And things don't get any easier for them as they take on their hated rival Oklahoma in the Red River Shootout this coming week. Really need to see Texas turn it around, but right now you can't call them anything but a loser. And that wraps up our winners and losers of the week. Looking forward to a great week ahead.